Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, last weekend on 420, we had GCW How High from the Ukrainian Culture Center there in Los Angeles, California. I'm going to go ahead and do the review of that show, and then we'll follow that up with GCW Breaking GCW that was on 421 that took place in Albuquerque, New Mexico at the Dirty Bourbon. Alright, yeah, it's a little bit past when these shows happened. I watched them earlier in the week. You know what? Life happens sometimes. Not able to review these right away. So we're going to run down the cards, give my thoughts about them, and then we will get them both reviewed here. Alright, so the first match on How High was a 7-way scramble match. We had Mr. Danger, Brody on Prodigy, Brayden, Toon, Eli, Everfly, Hunter Drake, Jordan Cruz, Rico, Gonzalez. This is just your typical scramble match. You got Mr. Danger, who some of his innovative maneuvers are just second to none. Some of these guys in this match can do just... Mr. Danger can just fly high. How high? Brody on Prodigy, again, a 16-year-old kid who is turning into quite the professional wrestler. 12 minutes, end up having Mr. Danger get the victory here. I gave this match a 3.5 star. Next up, we had a tag team match. We had the Stoner Brothers, Rick Scott Stoner versus the Stoner Brothers, Rick Scott Stoner teaming up with Scott Rick Stoner, going up against BUSSY, Allie, Katch, and Effy. This is one of those matches. I mean, when the Stoner Brothers are in it, you know it's kind of a fun match. Of course, you get Effy and Allie, Katch, and Effy's a little different. It's just standard tag match. Nothing really special happened in this. Just Effy being Effy, really. I ended up giving it 2 3/4 star. It lasted about 11.5 minutes. Next up, a match that I was definitely looking forward to. That actually, I was underwhelmed by it a little bit, if that makes sense. So it was Jordan Oliver versus Lio Rush. So when I saw this match on paper, I'm like, oh crap. One of my favorite wrestlers, Jordan Oliver versus Lio Rush, one of the great high flyers of professional wrestling. Honestly, it was okay. It wasn't spectacular. It wasn't one of those 5-star classes like we see with Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay. But it was 13 minutes of just good quality wrestling. You had basically Lio Rush hitting his big moves. You had Jordan Oliver hitting his big moves. And they kind of met in the middle, 3.25 star, 13 minutes, Jordan Oliver getting the victory. Next up, we had Grim Reefer. Yep, he had a doobie. And Ruckus teaming up. Oh, yeah. You know they were flying high. And you teamed up against Kerry Morton and Shane Mercer. Kerry Morton starts this match off with a wannabe punk type promo, the whole straight edge and all that stuff, and how I don't do stuff like that. And Grim Reaper's just looking at him, pulls his doobie out. Kerry Morton took it from him. Oh my God, you shouldn't do that. But yeah, seeing Grim Reaper doing stuff off the top rope while he's smoking a joint, there's nothing better. Ruckus, this dude, oh my God. This is actually one of his better matches I've seen. He was more jumping around, more almost high flying than normal, I thought. I ended up giving the match 3.25. Grim Reaper and Ruckus got the victory, celebrated with the joint. It was all good on 420. Next up we had Broski Jimmy and Jack Cartwheel. I've never seen a cartwheel into a Luthez press before, and we saw that with Jack Cartwheel. He literally did a cartwheel and just followed it up with a Luthez press. It's like, okay, how do you do moves like that? Broski Jimmy, we need Jimmy Lloyd back. We need to get rid of this Broski gimmick. It's getting ridiculous. We want Jimmy fucking Lloyd back. Broski Jimmy getting the victory here. I ended up giving it a 3-star. Next up, we had the GCW Extreme title line. We had champion Maki Itoh taking on Sandra Moone. There was really nothing extreme about the Extreme title match. 8 minutes, 55 seconds. I ended up giving it 2 3/4 star with Maki Itoh retaining her GCW Extreme title. Next up, we had Mance Warner versus Dark Sheik. This heel he wants to basically maim everyone. Mance Warner, who likes to take a screwdriver and poke people's eyes out with it almost. I actually like this side of Mancer. It's like the Psycho Mancer. Going up against Dark Sheik, and we had multiple door bridges, excuse me. We had chairs being used. We had Mancer just being Mancer. I mean, he took it out on Dark Sheik. But you know what? Some of it she was able to get back to him. Some of it she wasn't. Mancer ended up getting the victory. I ended up giving it 3 1/4. We need to end this whole thing with him and Effy. I don't know how we end it. We've tried with the Last Man Standing, and Mancer put a drill to Allie Katch's head to make Effy say I quit. Or sorry, it's not I quit match, excuse me. And so, I don't know. I don't know if Cage or Survival, if that would end it, how you end this, but yeah. Mancer just taking it out on every one of Effy's friends is getting a little out there. But Mancer getting the victory here. I give it 3 1/4. Next up, we had Human Tornado and Santana Jackson. Yeah. This match happened. Yep. It was okay. Santana Jackson is a gimmick. Santana Jackson is not a... Those matches are meant to be fun, not for star ratings, basically. So you had just the best of two styles here with Santana Jackson, Human Tornado. Human Tornado jumping off. Santana Jackson, not that kind of wrestler. But Santana Jackson getting the victory and then giving it 2 3/4 star. Next up, we had a hardcore tag team match. We had Nick Gage teaming up with Zilla Fatu going up against the Wolf Zaddies. Now, the Wolf Zaddies also wrestle in other promotions. Big Daddy Tito and Che Guevara as Team DK, which they wore the tights. So it's like, why didn't you just call them Team DK? Because we know that's who they are. But big dude Tito, he got sliced open with Nick Gage's pizza cutter. Che Guevara got sliced with the pizza cutter. Nick Gage uses pizza cutter a lot. I like seeing Nick Gage in matches like this, and Zilla Fatu, watching him learn. As we know what's going on SmackDown, we know that Jacob Fatu's coming. We know Tama Tonga's there. We know Solo Sequoia. And they're just adding to the Bloodline 2.0. We know it's going to be Jacob Fatu eventually against Roman and the Usos. They're going to get back together, kind of the original OG Bloodline and the current new Bloodline. Going to have Paul Heyman in the middle. I think both teams will join a fourth. Samick is joining with Roman because he is part of the Bloodline at one point. But I could see a Zilla Fatu. I could see Hikuleo coming in to join Jacob Fatu. But I can't wait to see just watching that whole story expand there. And hopefully Zilla Fatu will be eventually a part of it as he gets more seasoned professional wrestling. But Nick Gage and Zilla Fatu getting the victory there. A little less than 15-minute match. Ended up giving it 3-star. And then the main event was Cool Colored Scorpio versus Joey Janela, the bad boy. I love the fact that Joey Janela can wrestle different styles of matches. This was different than any other matches he wrestles. I was watching a WCW 1994 match, or show, I think it was for Saturday night, when a young upstart, Too Cold Scorpio, a young upstart, Too Cold Scorpio, That is hilarious. But, now these two put on a pretty decent match. They had the door bridge, and it kind of backfired on Joey Janela a little bit. He got put through it. Too Cold, Scorpio ended up getting the victory, ended up getting it 3 1/4. Good little match. So overall, matches weren't bad. Between 2 3/4 and 3 1/4 star. 3.5 on the Scramble match. Just one of those hit it down the middle of the fairway shows for GCW on 420 at GCW How High. As always, thanks for watching Rubber Sports Show. Now remember, Rubber Sports Show, from the independent scene to the main event of WrestleMania, we cover it all right here. As always, thanks for watching Rubber Sports Show. Don't just have a great day, have a spiffy day. Rubber Sports Show, your YouTube leader sports show content.